Today could have been a bad day for me. It was one of those days you wake up, the hustle and bustle of a weekend pass on to a first day of the week or the work week. And I walked up to my employment and basically said to myself, God, I wish I could be home. And then I get in there and everything was full of chaos. I put one foot in front of the other and kept moving forward. And I had a hard reality to what I was feeling. For the first time, I was feeling like this wasn't worth it. And not that I mean that I wanted to take my life or anything like that, but I was feeling the uncomfortability of having to just deal with things. If you ever felt like that, if you ever had thoughts of harming yourself, if you are hearing voices in your head, you suffer from any type of mental disability, you're being bullied, someone cannot accept your sexual orientation or your way of life. If you are dealing with something that makes you want to harm yourself or anyone else, please don't. Please reach out to the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-8255. I gave you that story so you can know that you're not the only person dealing with things. You're not the only person who is feeling a certain kind of way. But you are like me, put one foot in front of the other and you move forward. If you are doing these things and you're thinking about harming yourself, understand that you matter. I care. People care. No one wants to hear about you. We want to hear from you. And if for some reason, some odd, unholy reason, you feel that you cannot contact that number, then feel free to reach out to me with a simple message of, we need to talk, and I will make myself available to you. You are not in this battle alone. Now, with that being said, let's talk some football. What's going on, Pride Nation, and welcome back to another Field Review podcast show where we talk all things Detroit Lions. And obviously, we had a long weekend. At least for me, it was. And I know it may have been short for others, but it was long for me because I got to watch football and do a lot of things. Now, the one thing I got to do today is damage control because there's a lot of over and under reacting going on after this weekend's football. And I find it refreshingly funny. I do. I find it comical. And so we got to talk about that. Now, on top of that, I'm not here by myself today, people. If you are paying attention and you can read, I am here with a guest. I can't even call him a subscriber no more because he's rocking over there doing his thing on YouTube, growing his base and getting it done. I'm talking about the Analytics Den, diehard Lions fan right here, man. What's going on, man?
Not much, man. Just excited to be on the show, and I'm excited what I saw. So.
Yeah, I suspect that we're going to be told that we're drinking a lot of the Kool-Aid and that we have lost our damn mind. And it's cool. It's cool. I suspect that that's what the beef's going to be, but we're going to talk about it. We got to talk about, obviously, the Lions' first preseason game and the media storm, if you want to call it that came after that. We have to talk about just some of the interesting takes over the weekend. We also got to talk about the Lions cuts coming up for tomorrow. And we also have to talk about the Lions next game, but we'll probably trick on that a little bit. We just, work around it. But overall, we got a lot of things to cover. Let's see who's in the building with me today. If you are here and you have not hit that like button, please do so. And if you are here and you don't know how to find the Analytics Den channel, it is linked in the description. So we got JGB who says, I'm the first in this BR, one pride and don't ride. We got Looney Tune in the building, BD Buster, Ghetto Pat, 1991 Max Stag, Craig Bevins, That Dude Live, Rams House, Hard Work Dedication, One Funky Lions Fan. Ooh, this is a new person. I'm not even sure what this is supposed to be. Adrian?
I think.
Is that supposed to be? Oh, I get it. They used a different vowel for it. Got it. Okay. I'm going to just say Adrian. I ain't going to say the other part because we don't want to say that about you. I think you awesome. You here. Eltonio Jenkins in the building. Dude. Live is here. Let's see. Let me try and miss nobody. We got Gino in the building. Matthew Dennis is in the building. Ferg Lion 509 is in the building. Aaron Burden is in the building. Kyrie Kelly is in the building. Crimson Shadow 94. Drake Burns. Make sure we ain't missing nobody. I don't want nobody. We got Carl Campbell, Don Burr. I think I hit everybody. I feel good that I hit everybody. If you are in here and you want to shout out, simply post something like "What up, though?" or "Luke, you suck," and I will simply shout you out. It's not hard, real simple. Listen, I'm honest, man. It's not much that you can do to upset me. I'm living my best life. I really am, and hey, I'm honest. So just put something in there and I'll shout you out. First things first that I want to talk about, because we got to get past the overreaction parts of it. Now, before I go there, I do apologize for this being a later stream, but I work. And my job has a thing called mandatory overtime. And so there's no real way of getting around it. But I'm here. So it is what it is. Now, let's get into it. Man, you know what? I never even thought about what the hell you want me to call your name for short.
Just call me Dan. That's what everybody just seems to call me. So
I usually do that, but it's like, do you want me to call that? Okay, but I'm just gonna ride with it. All right, listen. Yeah. So Dan, we're gonna go over here. Give me your thoughts on the Lions' first. Let's emphasize this word: first preseason game. Mm-hmm. Give me your thoughts on it.
Okay, so I thought there were a lot of overreactions and underreactions. I'm going to start kind of more with the overreactions on the more positive side, because I think we're going to be mostly talking about some of the negatives. But on the positive side, I saw a lot of good things from kind of every side of the ball. For one, I thought the O-line and pass protection played good, other than maybe like the one sack, but that was really one play, so I cannot excuse that over all the others for the first string team. I thought Goff looked solid. I thought Javon McKinley looked solid. I thought Amon-Ra St. Brown looked great. I thought a couple other plays. And so I thought we all looked solid across the board, something I didn't see really much at all during the last regime during the preseason. But then I saw a couple negatives from such as our second string QB, who I'm now going to start calling 2-yard Boyle. And that's going to be, yeah.
That's where we going. I know 2-yard. Okay, go ahead. I ain't mean to cut you. I wasn't expecting that. You kind of out cold for that, but go ahead.
Yeah. So I just started to call him 2-yard Boyle because I thought he was terrible. But I also thought some people kind of overreacted to some players, and such as like Derek Barnes. But I'm only saying we only overreacted to him because he only had like 8 snaps, so we don't really know what he did. But that's kind of my takeaway from the preseason. There's a lot of overreactions, underreactions from very, very limited times, and the first preseason game. So that was just kind of
mine. Here's where I walked out of it. First of all, shout out to Ryan Anderson for getting the shout out Bumbleclot. So 100% shout out to you. Rocco, Luke, Go Lions. Hey, he says this is Mr. Scotty this is the Bear. I got that right. Shout out to you for joining the show. Let's see. Call him Lamar Hater. Y'all isn't here already. Truck with Big said Goff looks good besides the first pass. Shout out to you for joining us. Let me make sure I ain't forget nobody. I see some new names in here, so I want to make sure I acknowledge you. 2-yard boy. I know, bro. Like I said, of all the things that cause somebody, the 2-yard boy, that was okay. Now you don't start it, son. See what you did. Shout out to Omar. He in the building. Benjamin Foles in the building. Let me see. Make sure I ain't miss nobody. All right, I didn't. All right. Here's what I thought of our first game. I walked away ecstatic. And I know people was like, how in the hell, Luke, can you be ecstatic about this game? I mean, they didn't score. I mean, they didn't do this. The purpose of the first game wasn't about winning the game. It's clear if he wanted to, I believe that he could. And I know people are going to say, oh, come on, Luke. That was a real game. We couldn't have beat the Bills, but I think we could have. There are some things that I think that we overlook. What I'm more sad by is the overreaction from media and fans. I never in a million years thought that I would have to deal with this after one preseason game. One. Like, they were acting like we had said something crazy. Let me just give y'all one of the things that I had the pleasure of reading this week. I was on my man Jackson Kruger Sports channel. Shout out to him. And he was talking about Sewell. And I was like, yeah, I'm listening to it. And I was like, it's week 1 preseason. Lions fans, do not panic. And somebody came on there and said, we don't have a choice. They drafted a right tackle at 7, skipped on Fields, who looked amazing, and is in our division, and we drafted a right tackle, and our run game looked the exact same as last year, the run game isn't scaring anyone. After week one, people, like not week one of the regular season. No, that would be too intelligent. Not. You know, it's week one. It's literally a scrimmage. Like, they could have literally, everything that happened in that game didn't mean diddly squat. It was about getting looks at players. It was about getting reps and seeing who can do what when they can do it. That's what it was about. It was never about winning. Everybody brings up the fact that the Lions started out 4-0 and then went 0-16. Scratch all of that. It's not about that. It's about evaluations. It's about creating tempo and connections and getting reps against other people who don't know you, people who are going to give you different looks. And many of you Lions fans overlook that. Many of you somehow forgot that the game don't count. Some of you forgot that there are only 3 preseason games. And if you were not going to do things unusual in this game, then why do them at all? But to get this kind of message after one preseason game, because you are a Justin Fields fanboy, this is crazy. This is nuts. It's like, come on. Can I get a shout out? 100%. The Analytics Den said, can he get a shout out? 100%. Shout out to the Analytics Den, who channel is linked in my description, who is on with me right now. And, you know, we having us some fun. It says 6 not bad. Not bad is where we at this point, I think. I mean, I don't understand how all of a sudden we play one preseason game and all of a sudden everybody else players are better than ours. I don't get it. Dan, let's talk about this part of it, okay? Because this is the part that really irritated me. And the reason why I have this photo up, the mockery of media and fan base talking about Sewell first game. What are your thoughts on this? I thought there's some things I need. You know what? Give me your thoughts on it. I'm just curious. What are your thoughts on and to the fans who was critical, to the media who was critical? What are your thoughts on it?
I thought it was actually just really, really dumb for the most part. Most of the stuff I didn't agree on. Like, people said Sewell had a rocky start or wasn't good or something. I saw some people say he kind of had like a bounce back, but like he had one bad play and everyone acted like he had a 50-50 day. I thought he played great other than the one sack. And the one sack, Dan Campbell even admitted, wasn't even entirely his fault. It was Big V not helping him out at all with the pocket, and it wasn't just good at all. I saw a couple of people said that Jared Goff was at best solid, but was a game manager. I saw him throw a 20-yard throw to Tyler Williams. He didn't just 5-yard check down it. And I don't know. It bothered me that it's like people didn't watch the game, and they only looked at the scoreboard and didn't care at all. It just really, really bothered me. So, I don't know.
This is the disgust that I walk away with, right? Okay, stay with me. It's the first preseason game of the year. I'm going to emphasize that all day on this particular show. But on top of that, this man has not played football in over a year. He hasn't played any meaningful football. Can a brother have some damn nerves in the first game? Which brings me to my next point that was brought up by my man Carl Campbell, who says everyone is talking about the sack he gave up, which was a collaborative sack between him and Big V, 2 people who was getting back into the rhythm of things. But it does not matter that they gave up the sack. I don't care. What did they do afterwards? And to be honest, when it came to Sewell, Campbell, Carl Campbell's right. He was smashing into people. He was getting his job done. Yes, he had some raps where I can go, he can get a little bit better. But for the most part, that was the biggest blemish of the night. And it's like, come on, you're overreacting to that. I had people going like, we should have scored more points. It wasn't about scoring. Mm-hmm. We were missing the point of what they were trying to do. They're trying to evaluate kids. And if you don't give them enough chance to do so, you don't get it. I saw an article that evolved around a Michael Lombardi basically giving the head coach the business for going for it on 4th and going for 2 and all the. When is he supposed to do it if not the first preseason game?
Mm-hmm.
When? When is it supposed to happen? When is it supposed to be okay for it to go down? It does not make sense. Adrian says, can Barnes play middle linebacker or is he specifically outside edge? He can play middle, outside edge and all. He's basically Parsons, if you like Parsons. But I walked away feeling like, yo, this is ridiculous. Y'all have no clue what y'all are talking about. Like, y'all just want something to complain about. And it doesn't, I just don't feel like he is, I don't feel like he is somebody that we should be putting all our energy in to acting like we made a mistake. You got people hyping up Jalen Fields like he wasn't going against second and third stringers. Like, seriously.
He was bad against second stringers. He went up against the third stringers and then did well. Just a note.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Correct it. Say it again because some people don't realize it. But this the other point that I looked at and I said maybe I'm crazy because Luke tends to do and say crazy things, and so Luke decided to evaluate himself and say maybe I'm crazy. I went and I looked at the other headlines for other teams, particularly the ones in our division, because our apparent fan base was either on a ship or completely off. I walked away from the game feeling like, hell yeah. They walked away from the game going, hell no. Nah. And to me, it's funny. Now, let me just ask this question, because for all those people who was having fun, only one team in our division won their preseason game, and that was the Bears, 20-13. Ooh, so special, right? The Vikings got beat 33-6. Do anybody now all of a sudden think that the Vikings at the one preseason game is that bad? Like, seriously. Like, did I miss something? Dan, did I miss something?
I don't know. Are the Raiders better than the Seahawks? Because the Raiders beat the Seahawks in the preseason.
I mean, let's go now. I mean, the Texans. The Houston freaking Texans beat the Packers 26-7. Are the Packers all of a sudden trash? Our media are not pointing these things out. Our fan base are not pointing these things out. But they're so focused on we should have scored more, or I don't like that we did this, and we dinked and dunked, and this looked bad, and they was running the ball. But what about when they buckled up? What about when they strapped in? They dialed up. Like, I don't understand this. There was a balanced attack in this game. We were picking up short yardage, and they knew we were doing it. And it was nothing they can do to stop it. Mm-hmm. What about that? The positives in the game. What about this? Then this brings me to a question that you brought up, a question that I think needed to be explored because, again, this is what happens when you're dealing with people who just Green Bay got blown out by who? I'm just saying. Listen, I wish I could make this stuff up, but nobody wants to talk about it. But this brings me to the question that I think you brought up, and I think it's a good question. Is there any concern with the way Campbell handled the clock management in this game?
Truthfully, I don't think so at all. Because if you watch the game, they were actually running the ball a lot in the fourth quarter. An example of this was Craig Reynolds. Like, literally, I think he got the most opportunities to run out of all our running backs. Well, let me relook at the stats real quick. I think he had 6 carries.
You talking about for Reynolds?
Yeah, Reynolds. And so we were running a whole bunch in the fourth.
Yeah, he had 6 carries, 49 yards, an 8.2 yard average, 1 touchdown. His longest run was 24.
Mm-hmm. And so we were definitely running the ball. It's not like we weren't doing anything, and it's not like we're going to kneel every single second. And so I thought for the most part, he handled the thing completely well. The only reason you could say he had bad clock management was the going for 2, but I was just trying to see, hey, how does our 2-point team kind of look for our little scheme here? And obviously it didn't work. And also, it's just, let's see if this can get us the win.
Yeah, I walked away with the attitude that I did not see the bad clock management. In fact, if you was being honest and you looked at it objectively, and They won time of possession. 30 minutes and 2 seconds compared to 29 minutes and 58 seconds. They won time of possession. When you look at it, they didn't commit as many penalties as the other team, right? And but they were only 7 yards off in terms of rushing. And to me, you're talking about somebody who basically ran the ball. Let me see. So here we are comparing ourselves to the Bills. The Bills ran the ball 29 times. The Lions ran it 26. And we were only 7 yards behind them. And they had their starting running back in. like they had their legitimate 1-2 punch in, and we didn't. We had our 2 punch in, and then we had a guy that came in that day and apparently introduced himself in the huddle, which is the story that everybody is talking about. Don't really care that he introduced himself in the huddle, but he played well. He may not do anything else for the rest of the damn preseason, but you know what? For that game, he earned himself some more time, some more looks. They threw the ball 31 times. The Lions threw it 30. And the Bills fans aren't killing them for not scoring more. Like, I just don't. Clock management to me is about exactly what it sounds like. Are you managing the clock within situations? If he gets the 2, he's a hero. Oh, the gussiness of him to go for 2 and get it. Yay. I don't care he went for 2. It's preseason.
Well, and also, Campbell even said it himself about the drive is that A, they would have ran more. I don't think they necessarily were too bad at their clock management, but B, also he wanted to see what his guys could do in different situations. So that's why he said he tried to get, for example, I don't know if you watched the interview, but he said he tried to get McKinley to have a play since he didn't get barely time at all, since 2-yard Boyle took almost the entire day from Blau. And that led to the big catch for McKinley. They were trying out new things. Campbell said himself that's why they had those situations.
Right.
It's a preseason game. That's what they're doing.
You're supposed to listen. I keep it like, listen, it's game 1 of the preseason. People forget that Sewell, who has not played in over a year, still did well. People forget. Think about this. There were running lanes for the running backs. Like, I'm not even making this up. There were running lanes for the running backs. Like, I don't understand what you want to complain about. Now, we got some things we can be not so impressed with. Don't get me wrong, but that's on the individual level, not on the coaching in terms of game management or clock management. I don't see it. Now, this is a very good comment here. It says, usually you see a big drop off with the 3rd and 4th stringers. I've seen players want to earn a spot on the team. And that's what I saw. That's one of the things that stood out to me, where I was walking away like, yo, people are stepping up, and it made it obvious on who was not meant to be here for me. That's what it made it obvious on for me. So let's jump into this question right here. You know, who should get cut? They already cut 2 people. They got to cut 3 more. They cut the tight end Charlie Tampa, that guy, and then they cut Alex Brown, who apparently was drunk driving and caused an accident going the wrong way. Wow. Okay, I can't believe with all the years of history and things that we've seen, we still got people drinking and driving. Tragic, but he's cut anyway. And had he not been cut, after hearing about his drunk driving accident, I would have cut him in a heartbeat. You clearly don't get it. So, but let's start off with you, man. Give me the other 3 players that you think should be cut tomorrow.
So I already kind of see at the bottom part for my first guy. Looney Tunes and James Holyfield are already talking about my number 1 guy, Victor Bolden. Victor Bolden did nothing to help the Lions at all. He dropped, was it 1 or 2 passes? He muffed a punt. He did nothing to help the team at all. I didn't think he was really anything as a blocker. He was an exact example of a training camp player. He wasn't good. And I just kind of saw it coming. And then my second person, I was thinking about 2-yard Boyle, but you got to have 3 quarterbacks at the preseason, so I think we'll probably keep him for like the 3rd game. But I think he's a probably cut if he continues to be 2-yard Boyle. But my other player I was thinking of was, since you already said this player, I was thinking, I was thinking kind of around the what's his name, Elijah Holder. I didn't see him do anything in the preseason game. I don't think there's a chance he makes it when you already have four confirmed safeties and C.J. Moore, Dean Marlowe, Tracy Walker, and Will Harris. And I think Bobby Price or Jalen Elliott will make the safety spot. And then I think for my other spot, I think of a guy who I think I'm 100% kind of ready to let go of. I think I want to get rid of Sage Surratt. I think that's the player I want to get rid of because he didn't get any separation. He didn't seem to really do anything at all. And I thought he was completely outshined by
every other receiver.
Ron McKinley. Yeah.
Like mine is Baldwin.
Yeah.
Well, no, he got outshined by Baldwin in my opinion too, because I think at least Baldwin got open.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I get it. I mean, listen, those are good picks. I think I can't argue with the Sage Surratt pick. You got everybody calling this man 2-yard boy. I can't. Oh my god! Instead of pretty young thing, say 2-yard boy. TYB 2-yard boy. I can't. Y'all is out cold. This one right here. Y'all already on this. Look what you don't started. Like look what you don't started. Luke, what do you think about Bobby Price? He's the guy I would cut. He's the guy that I think I would cut. I know he has some good reps, but when it was crunch time and opportunity presented itself, you getting beat bad, like on a lot of deep bombs. That big play he gave up, I was not with it. I'm like, yo, bro, like you wasn't even like in position. You never turned your head fully to locate the ball, and I may be wrong, but that's a rookie receiver. Like, come on, bro. You gotta do better than that. He was one of the guys that I would have had on there that I would have cut. He's one of my 3 cuts, and I know people are going to say, "Oh, that's not terrible. That's not fair." I also had Jayshon Cornell. You're gonna be suspended anyway. You was hurt in the first place, so to be hurt now get suspended, and then you come in and I just watch you. You were very underwhelming. And then I got to watch people like Kevin Strong, who you're battling for a spot, outperform you. So you got to go. So I got Jayshon Cornell, and then I got Bobby Price. So obviously, if you notice my theme, I stayed on the defensive side of the ball for those 2 cuts, and then I'm going to roll my cell phone over to the offensive side of the ball because there is somebody over here that needs to be gone. And y'all ain't gonna like this one. I know y'all gonna be like, bro, are you serious? But I've seen enough of Tom Kennedy. Yes, I know he had that nice run. Yes, I know he did the other things. But when you look at this team as a whole in terms of height and their ability, he's not unseating Tyrell Williams. He's not unseating Quintez Cephas. He's not unseating Amon-Ra St. Brown. That's 3. He's not unseating Brashard Perriman. That's 4. He's not unseating Khalif Raymond. That's 5. So now at this point, he's essentially at war with Geronimo Ellison, Chad Hansen, Sage Surratt, Darius Jennings, Damian Ratley, and Javon McKinley. I don't see how he can unseat any of them people, to be honest with you. And he did good. And he doesn't do anything past that. I know that he's supposed to be a kick and punt returner guy. But even here on depth chart, he behind Victor Bowden, I mean. So here you are behind this guy. You're not unseating him on kick or punt. What are we doing with you? You're just there as a cap body at this point, and he would be somebody I would cut and move on for, so I can see how these bigger receivers, i.e. McKinley, how they do. And like I said, I understand, Sage Surratt didn't do much, but at least he has the height in the build. But you're right. There was no separation there. There was no real difference in terms of, the skill set for me. But those would be the guys I would get rid of if it was me. So let me go through the chat really quick, catch up on the chat. Let me ask you this question while I'm catching up. Man, you got everybody talking about this. Y'all leave Surratt alone. I would have Burns take Tavares spot. I think Burns should take Alex Anzalone's spot. I just thought there's a difference in movement, in my opinion. I know that they like Alex Anzalone's coverage skills and stuff like that, but Burns just looked different to me. I feel like I get more out of him. So, but hey, what can I say? Burns to me looked different. But says say Surratt, whatever will be. Say Surratt. I want to see these other backs, the ones I don't care about names. I thought that Dedrick Mills did well. I've been impressed with him since I went to that practice, and I was like, oh, he got good vision. So I've been impressed with him, and I thought he did well. I think that Jamar Jefferson is still hurt, but went out there and tried to play through it because he knows there are people who could take his spot with him being a 7th round pick. And so I see that being the case. Preseason is just to see if a player are doing the right things with what the defense is showing, and the same for a defense. It's just film to show players what they should have done. I get it, Mr. Scotty. I get it. I understand it, but I can't speak for everybody else. It says, I was at the game. We should have went for a first down, not the touchdown. Drain the clock, then go for the kick. As soon as I saw time left, I knew what was going on. What do you mean? Like you knew that they were trying to evaluate talent? The first game nobody should have cared about. Like 100%. Like nobody should have cared about that first game. But they can go for the first down. They can go for doing like this. But if this is where you're going to test it out, it's the first game. The next game I think we play with the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's going to be dress rehearsal. So you're going to see more of the starters in there a little bit longer. And that third game probably is going to be the game where they evaluate the rest of the talent before they make those final cuts. But yeah, I don't see how it's going to work. I think Tavai is safe. They seem to be locked in onto making him a half down player. I do too. I think he's safe as well. Junior Core is healthy with ball out this season. I think he's good for 7 to 10 sacks this season. I hope you're right about that because he was beating a different group of people. Bruh, can they ask for an 8th or 11th and still be too much for Tavai? I'm okay.
Picks that don't exist anymore.
Right. Bobby Price couldn't cover a corpse with a blanket. He had some good reps. It's just those big plays really upset me because they came at the worst times, and it was times like I'm like, oh, good breakup and good, But for the most part, it was too many big plays, and I wasn't with it. What up, though, Antoine? All right. So let me ask you this question right here because obviously we talked about the cuts. We've talked about our overall view. We also talked about the Sewell having a bad outing. Are you concerned, though, because we're talking about the scoring, are you concerned with the lack of scoring during the preseason game? Like, did you have any issues there?
No, not at all. My big thing for the scoring thing is teams should just not always going to score. There's going to be teams that do bad, some teams that do good. One of my biggest examples is the fact that the painful doubt the season that shall not be named, 2008. We were 4-0 in the preseason, and we all know what happened there. A certain number appeared, and we didn't have a certain number in our win column. And the Browns had the exact same situation. The preseason scores don't matter. I've seen teams do good in the preseason and completely do trash. I legitimately just saw. Let's see. I just saw the freaking Minnesota Vikings only score 6 points. I just saw
Packers scored 7.
Yeah, Buccaneers scored 14. Packers scored 7. Seahawks scored 7. Like, do we really think Russell Wilson's not going to score 7 points? Do we like?
I mean, Kansas City struggled too, apparently.
Yeah, so it doesn't make any sense at all to judge what our score was or was not. I mean, if we had a win, okay, good job, guys. But really, I would have been hyped either way about what happened.
Detroit fan man says, so is Burns just that good, or did he get outshine, or did he get to outshine the Bills doo-doo last string? He's that good. To me, the way you measure if a player is really that good or not is simply saying, do I look like I don't belong out here with these other people? He did not disappointed in that department. He did not belong out there with them, and it showed. Every play, I mean, the first read, the first reaction, everything. He was there in the game. He's going to be our DeAndre Levy, Steven Tulloch, Chris Spielman. He has that type of attitude and mentality, and he's going to be the reason why the Lions are trying to find somebody to complement him. He's going to be a phenomenal linebacker, and I don't think that was a fluke by any stretch of the imagination. I just don't. So I need to see more out of Surratt. I ain't giving up on him just yet. Oh, well, you're going to get a chance to see it because I think some other people didn't help themselves. Luke, what do you think about Jared Goff staring down his receivers? Because that's what I saw.
I didn't see that.
I didn't see that. Yeah, I didn't see him stare down receivers. I seen them start off a little bit doing what he did in college, which is come out and make a quick pass here and there. But staring down receivers, I didn't see that. Maybe I had to go back and rewatch it a little bit tighter, but I don't remember him staring down receivers. Mm-hmm. But to the question of scoring, I don't care. I don't. It's preseason, and I don't give a care what you score. Nobody gives two flying nickels. If Green Bay had to really truly play the Texans, it's no way that they scored 26 points on that Packers team. If Minnesota had to truly play somebody, like I don't see them just 6 points. Like, come on, I don't see this thing happening. And the thing about it with the Lions was, and I hate to break this to you guys, the Lions could have scored every drive. Like that's how I was feeling. Now, some of y'all are going to say, Luke, you tripping. There's no way they could have scored every drive. Clearly, you have lost your mind, and I don't know what to tell you. Well, let me help you, right? Let me help you see what I saw, and then maybe, just maybe, you will understand why I felt what I felt. Now, barring that first possession, we know that first possession was hot garbage. But it's the first possession, and I don't really give a care because if you're going to ever get it out your system, this was the time. And so to me, that gave me enough confidence to see what I saw. There are some things that I think happened that I don't think many of us really paid attention to. And had we did, we wouldn't be upset, we wouldn't be panicked, and we wouldn't be sitting there saying to ourselves, oh, how could we be here? And how could we do this? And how could we do that? We wouldn't have had that belief because we would have already saw this particular pattern. First thing that jumped out to me when I said we basically could have scored on every possession. The first thing that jumped out to me, before I get into that real quick, who saved their job? I think Jalen Reeves-Maybin sure as hell did. He missed a whole lot the first week of camp and saved. Yeah, Jalen Reeves definitely saved his job 100%. I think Reynolds bought himself some time for a job, but overall, people who I think that was on a bubble who saved their job.
I think maybe McKinley.
No, I think David Blau is the biggest one. Like to me, McKinley obviously is one of them, but David Blau to me is the biggest one because people really was buying into Tim Boyle, and I remember thinking he's too rattled. He's too rattled, and Blau seemed more comfortable. Just from what I saw, that's offensive pick right there for me. A person on defense who I think saved their job. Ah, man, let me see.
Well, I think the big thing is the reason I say McKinley compared to Blau and Boyle is literally because of how bad performance was from Tim Boyle, and not so much of like Blau. While Blau played well, I will admit, I feel like a large part of it was just how bad Tim Boyle did. Because I feel like if, like, say Boyle had the exact same performance as Blau, I don't feel like Blau's job would have been saved either more because Blau was playing the third stringers. But since Boyle played so bad, I feel like that made Blau have more time to get that second string spot compared to McKinley, who's like that undrafted receiver who might make the team as a sixth receiver. Now I could see him maybe really make that sixth receiver spot.
Well, like I said, I get it. Southwest Line says Luke Kennedy is a poor man's Amendola, and that's why he needs not to be on the team. They're moving away from that smaller receiver, and he's not unseating the first five, so he has a really uphill battle to try to get one of those last two receiver spots that I think they're going to carry 7 receivers. But let's talk about this really quick. Then feel free to chime in whenever you want. Open forum. Obviously, the first drive, 3 plays, you go 1:29, nothing to see here. It's a negative 11 yards. Now, as much as I'm going to focus on the offensive side of this, I'm going to also show you the defensive side because there are some things here that you want to look at and that I was very happy to see. First thing first, let's go here. Second possession, 18 plays. We doing 18 play possessions? Yeah, I know it's preseason. Don't get me wrong. I know it's preseason, but I want you to understand that this right here covers a number of our topics. Oh, clock management. That's 9 minutes and 54 seconds they ate up. 18 plays. Oh, well, Luke, they came away with a field goal. It wasn't about the scoring. It's about the looks and getting things to work in your favor. Now, let's go down to the next drive. They go 3 and out and punt. Nothing to see here, 1 yard. You go, oh, man, that's terrible. The next drive, they get a turnover on downs at the going for it on 4th. And people go, oh, man, that's terrible. And they get 8 yards. And then you go, oh, my God. Then you get to the half on the next one. Then you go another 4 and out and punt. Okay. People get upset only on 3 yards, right? Now, I'm showing y'all this because if I don't, y'all going to say something different. But I'm going to show you the reverse side of it. And then when they come back out and they go, all right, well, let's get into this. 16-play drive. Now, there's no time on this timeline other than once where the Bills had a 15-play drive. One time. But we're going to get into that side of it. 16-play drive to go up. I mean, to go and to make the score 13-6. And then they come back out. Go six plays, 3 minutes and 15 seconds, 45 yards, and a touchdown. Now, here's where everybody got mad again because he went for 2 like they really care. Nobody cares. We understand what this is. It's an evaluation. But this is a good drive. Another one. 8 plays, 2 minutes and 20 seconds, 75 yards. 75 yards. We go up 15-13. And then obviously you had the one play you can give, but it was no way of getting around it. Now let's flip that and reverse. You have 11 plays right here where they went for 123, 5 minutes, 55 seconds. So that's the defensive side of the ball. But offensively, they performed, in my opinion, on sustaining drive, and they could have scored. And then if you go right here, let's go back to the top. I want to go back to the top and work my way down. They came out 7 plays with 28 yards, 2 minutes and 43 seconds, and got a field goal. So nobody is crowning the defense for this, but hey, what can we say, right? They come back out, go 5 plays, and they punt 21 yards. That's a good stop, right? Here go the longest one they got: 15 plays, 79 yards, 9 minutes and 10 seconds, and a touchdown. Okay, right? 7 plays, 30 yards, 1 minute and 6 seconds, field goal. Okay, to me, I'm seeing things where there's a progression in how they're going into it. It wasn't like they came in here and just owned the Lions. It wasn't like the Lions came in here and dropped the ball offensively. They could have scored if they really gave a shit. They really could have. They could have kept running the ball if they gave a crap. The thing that people don't realize is this. We had 2 drives that were over, that were long drives, and most of our starters wasn't in. No Quintez Cephas. No Brashard Perryman, no TJ Hockenson, no DeAndre Swift. That's just offense. That's just the offense. On the defensive side of the ball, I don't even think, and I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. I don't even think that Okuda played. I don't even remember. Did he play?
Yeah, he wasn't there. He wasn't there long to be noticed because Mitch Trubisky only had 2 throws.
And then he was out. So again, you're still talking about a number of people on that side. So no Trubisky. I'm sorry, no Trubisky. Jesus, no Okuda playing. You talking about no Levi Onwuzurike, who they really want out there. He's not playing. No Trey Flowers. I don't think Trey Flowers played. Michael Brockers. I don't think he was out there.
He wasn't.
Right. Now, mind you, all these people who was out. Now, granted, Buffalo had people out too. I'm not gonna act like Buffalo didn't have like Josh Allen wasn't out there, but they started running back was. So we can't play that game. And their number 2 running back was. And yes, there was no Stephon Diggs. I totally get it. He wasn't out there. I'm not counting Cole Beasley because it's Cole Beasley. I don't give two flying nickels. Cole Beasley is not important enough to be changing the trajectory of that team. So don't care about that. Defensively, though, a lot of their starters came out and got a few reps. So I'm just saying, you maintain on offense long drives and most of your weapons wasn't even in.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that for a moment.
I just think it's more of a sign of encouragement. The players who didn't play were Levi O, Brockers, Han, Nick Williams. Those are kind of arguably our most important players on that D line. I don't think I saw Trey Flowers play. The only player that I saw in our front seven that was a starter that wasn't a Lee McNeil was Romeo Okwara, but I think he was only there for a couple plays. And so that basically we didn't have like most our players. They didn't really pass out at all. So in the end, we didn't really have anyone but Lee McNeil as our starting D lineman. We had Alexander Zero out there as our middle linebacker. We had these things that held us back. Yet we kept that game to 1 point, and we only lost because Dan Campbell was trying to be gutsy and actually try to win games. In a way, I guess, I don't know, just trying to go for a 2. We easily could have just tied the game, but Campbell wanted to have been like, all right, let's see what we can do.
And it doesn't hurt for you to try it in this game. Mm-hmm. It's the one game, if you're going to do it, this is where you're going to do it. And I don't understand why would you think that there's going to be anything opposite? Like, it just doesn't make sense. I just look at it and I say there's a lot of things that have to happen for this to work. Now, Adrian says, although it's preseason, do you feel as if the winning of time of possession battle in the first quarter means anything? I don't, because I know that each thing of it makes a difference, but I'm not evaluating that. I'll be able to evaluate that secondary to the fact that what I'm seeing with my own 2 eyes in terms of the players' performances. I got 3 games to evaluate 90 players. 3. I need the best 53 players on the field, and I got 3 games to do it. And I hate to say this, but I think that missing that fourth preseason game is a problem for me, because now you're forced to make decisions on players that you're not going to have a lot of chance to look at. And for the most part, what I noticed with Campbell was he got to look at all the people he wanted to. If you go and look at the people who played in the game, and you take a hard evaluation, I would say a hard evaluation of who played in this game, then you will see, like how I saw, that he got to see a lot of people. So let's go through and just look at the people he got to see. Obviously, he got to see David Blau. He got to see Tim Boyle, right? But you got to see Craig Reynolds. You got to see Dedrick Mills. Dedrick Mills is like at the end of the roster. Craig Reynolds literally was just picked up the day before he played. And here's the best part about it. If you go back to what Dan Campbell, Anthony Lynn, and Aaron Glenn all said, including Deuce Staley, they all said, we're going to go with what's working. As long as it's working, we're going to keep doing it. Craig Reynolds was working, so they kept doing it. These are little things that they're not talking about in media. That they stuck to their word. He was the hot hand. They kept handing it off. This is how you do it. But we got to see Jamar Jefferson, right? We got to see Godwin, and I'm not going to play with his last name, Igwabuki. I probably bounced that whole entire name. Don't judge me. I got to see a Tom Kennedy, a Javon McKinley. I got to see a Geronimo Ellison. I got to see Darren Fells, Victor Barden, Jason Cabina. I got to see Sage Surratt. I got to see all these things, and that's just offense. I got to see what it looks like to see a Iffy out there running around. I got to see Kevin Strong. I've seen a lot of late round people get playing time that we wouldn't have seen under the last coaching staff. We wouldn't have seen this. Mm-hmm. I got to enjoy Anthony Pittman. I got to see a Bruce Hector, a Jalen Reed-Maben, a Bobby Price, a Julian Accor, a Dean Marlowe, a Jay Sean Cornell, a Sean Deion Hamilton, a Robert McCray, Austin Bryant made an appearance. Jerry Jacobs. I'll wait. I bet y'all don't even know who the hell that is. I'm just telling you, you got a chance to see people that you would have never otherwise saw. He achieved his goal in the first preseason game. So no, am I concerned about the time of possession? No, I'm concerned about getting reps that I can see. Are you doing your job? Are you going to give me a reason to say you should be on our 53-man roster? And when I go through and I look at the number of names that they don't have chances to get in there and play, he achieved his goal. You ask me. I mean, it's brilliant. Go ahead.
Well, I think the big thing that I like to see is we're seeing a way that the line that no team really functions. They're trying new things recklessly.
Right.
They're not doing this with the intention of, okay, if I go for 2, is this going to cost us the game? No, they're going for 2 because they're like, okay, how we practice at this? Which does this play work in the 2-point situation? That's kind of what I like to see. We also get to see players that we're never going to see. When Jake Rudock was here, we would never have seen Jake Rudock any other time of the day, right? So we got to see what Jake Rudock could do if Stafford went down or something. So that's what's nice about the preseason. We get to see things we don't, but it matters nothing because Jake Rudock was freaking great in the preseason, but then did he amount to anything in the regular season? No.
I wish they had this same attitude because we would have kept Brad Kaya, who I thought was a good player. He just needed to be groomed. He's over there chilling right now with the Colts. He might even be out the league. I don't tell him, but I remember he went to the Colts at some point. Anthony Fitzpatrick says Boyles didn't play that bad. He was put under so much pressure. He got hit late. He got chop blocked and had his ankle rolled, and he still carried on. He made some good throws under huge pressure too. Here's my problem. Here's where I respectfully disagree with you. I watched him after a few of those hits, allow those hits to creep into his mind. He was throwing the ball in situations that he had no business throwing the ball. Right? Like guy directly on his face, hitting him on throwing the ball. No, eat the sack. Step up and eat the sack. There was this one particular play where I'm literally looking at him, and we end up getting the benefit of a bad call. They called some kind of crazy call where I didn't even see what he did to the quarterback for it to happen, but it saved him a interception because the guy dropped it, and then on top of the guy dropping it, they had a penalty any damn way. But it was no reason he should have threw that ball. I don't know who he was throwing to. It was short, and it wasn't in the vicinity for a person to have. There was a time where he just, for me, he lacked poise. And I don't want a quarterback who don't have poise. When you look at a quarterback who's, like, I'll give you a perfect example, right? When you go through that sack that happened with Jared Goff could have tried to hang in there and throw the ball. He played the start. He did the smart thing, tried to run up and just went on and took the sack. But there was times where Tim Boyles had running lanes and didn't take off. Right? And I get it. It's preseason. But the worst thing that you can have is a uncomfortable quarterback in the pocket who was still thinking about the last hit. He knew for himself that stuff was adding up, and he knew for himself that it wasn't looking good. And he started trying to force plays and stuff. Even when he decided to come out for that play and go back in, I understand he was under pressure, but David Blau was too. And for the most part, that's where I draw the line at on Tim Boyles and his performance. But go ahead, Dan.
Okay, and I will say this one thing. For both arguments, I sure hope that person is a big Jared Goff fan with the O-line, and I hope he's a big fan of the Sewell pick because he proves your chart right in that scenario, in that version of it. Right? Quarterback needs time to throw. Doesn't matter your talent.
Wait. You mean this beautiful chart right here? Let me put it up. That one right there. You mean that chart? Yeah, that one that people love to hate. Goff with Sewell to anybody? Shocking. Shocking.
And this I would definitely say is true. But I'm sorry, you also should, if he had a quick release, I bet you if it was Goff or Boyle and that exact same O-line, they would have gotten better than a 2-yard throw. I'm sorry. But he had one throw, I believe, that I saw that was actually completed past the 2-yard line. That was a 9-yard throw to Geronimo Allison. No. I saw David Blau play with a terrible line, too. David Blau was pressured heavily, and he still performed better. Now, granted, he only had 6 passes to, I think, Boyle's 11 or something. But at the end of the day, it just proves our point either way. O-line matters. And I just think it proves your chart extremely well.
Yeah, I mean, Tim Boyles threw the ball 15 times, completed 8 of those 15 for 38 yards. He had an average of 2.5 yards. If you care about QBRs, he had a 59, right? David Blau threw the ball 6 times, had 5 of his 6 completed, 76 yards, 12.7 yard average, and had a QBR of 118.8. So if you care about that kind of, I don't care about QBR, but to kind of put it in perspective, Tim Boyle just did not look comfortable. That's what my issue is. I felt like he was rattled because he was throwing the ball at times where he was seeing ghosts, and I was like, "There's nothing there. There's just nothing there. I don't understand why you're doing this. There's not a thing there for you to do this." So, but to each his own. To each his own that do it. I'm not knocking them. Just pointing out there. All right, let me see. They said Okuda did play. Like I said, I felt like if he did, I see right now he literally played. According to Pro Football Reference, he only played 3 snaps. Okay, so technically he played, but let me see. Luke Michelangelo. What? Luke G Field Review. I can't look at the pic you got up no more without noticing the lazy eyeliner. Huh? What are you talking about?
I don't know what they're talking about.
I don't know what they're talking about. Don't be judging my photos out here, man. What's wrong with y'all, man? Let me see.
Oh, is that what you look like in real life?
I know. What the hell? I leave my lazy eye alone. Damn it. You talking about this? Is that what he's talking about? I don't know. But that's what he, ain't no telling. Let's see. Flat routes killing our defense, to be honest, but that was easy to fix, so not worried. Fair enough. When it comes to the coaching, Dan Campbell is going to let his coordinators do their job. That's obvious. Another thing I thought was interesting was Anthony Lynn likes to call his plays from the box. And I felt like our other coordinator, Darrell Bevel, on the sideline. Do you think there was an advantage to calling your offense from the box versus the sideline?
Oh, yeah. Well, you can go on a mic if you're your people or whatever. But I also feel like if you're on the sideline, you can walk up personally, kind of go up and be like, hey, this is where you failed. Pull out their little Microsoft tablets and be like, this is why you failed or whatever and point. I feel like it's a lot better. I'm personally, for example, myself, I'm much better when someone can show me why I did wrong and not just say it because I might just think it wrong in my head. So I'm much more a fan of a coach being on a sideline than in a box. I don't know. That's my opinion, but
I'm not going to kill you. The ultimate goal is to get that. That's the goal. The goal is to get that, and the question now becomes: how do you take what they've done in the first preseason game and carry it over into the second preseason game? Because I can tell you right now that. At least this is just my observation. I could be 100% wrong. I really could. And I think that the next game is the rehearsal. That's the dress rehearsal. I think you see our starters for a first half. And I don't know if we're going to get the same thing out of Pittsburgh, but if we do, I'm going to be excited to see what it is. Because I can tell you this much right now. I looked at all the games where the home team was at, and I'm going to let y'all know something. Them stadiums were ridiculous. I mean, ridiculous. The amount of people in there for a preseason game, just wait till it counts. And now you have the 49ers traveling to us. Oh, they finna get their feelings hurt. If they won't be able to hear their own farts. It's finna be terrible. And so I just don't see how they can come in there and do it. Everybody was all in love with Trey Lance and all this other stuff, and he's not ready.
Well, he's not even going to start week 1.
I hope he does. I hope he does. I mean, it really don't matter who starts, Jimmy G or him, but I hope it's him.
A fly's just going to fall on Jimmy G's wrist. It's going to break. Let's be honest.
I'll take it. I'm just saying. I hope he does. That's all I'm putting out there. My goal is to get that first championship. And yes, I'm not talking about getting it today, but it is what it is. It says advantage is just a slight picture of the whole field. He has assistant coaches to show tablets on the sideline. Yeah, I mean, to me, I look at it like this. The idea of him being up there, to me, takes away from a lot of the distractions as well. And I do think that Campbell was allowing his coaches to coach. You saw that AG was on the sideline, and AG was yelling at quite a few people who had missed assignments and stuff. But if you didn't see anything else, go and watch that in the DM clip. They are intense. These coaching staff is intense, and the competitiveness is ridiculous. Before they even play somebody else, they're battling each other for greatness. And so that's huge, in my opinion, going forward. I'm going to hit one more question, then take questions from the chat. Let me hit you with this one right here, because, I know people's going to say, Luke, you tripping, but it is what it is. Michael Lombardi. Oh, yeah. You know that guy that used to be a general manager?
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, that guy. The guy who wanted to be the general manager here and didn't get the job and is not. He has started a full-fledged campaign against one Mr. Dan Campbell. He talks about his antics. He says that first game was an embarrassment and was poor coaching on every level. He talks about his game clock management. He talked about why would you leave your starters in the first game that long in a game that don't mean anything. That's poor coaching because he left the starters in for the first quarter, not realizing that there's no TJ Hawkinson out there. There's no Cephas out there. There's no DeAndre Swift out there. There was barely Jamal Williams out there. But apparently he took exception to this and then made the argument that if, to sit there and leave them out there that long, but then turn around and play conservative at the end is a sign of poor coaching. And that's something that the Lions should look into. I'm paraphrasing here, people, because he was just 100%, in my opinion, off his damn medication. And so I just didn't want to judge him too bad because apparently either he's bitter or somebody gave him some bullshit pills. Either way, it was not fun. So, let's dive into it. Dan, what are your thoughts on Michael Lombardi's evaluation of Dan Campbell?
Well, I feel like it's as illogical as you could possibly get. Name me one team that stayed aggressive the entire game. Is Kyle Shanahan a bad coach? Because I didn't see a whole bunch of aggressiveness after that 80-yard bomb that Trey Lance had. Because, I guess a Super Bowl head coach is just bad. So there's one bad take. And I don't think I don't care much about what Mike Lombardi says because he hasn't done anything on a NFL position since 2015. So he does, and we didn't hire him for a reason. And I think that's an exact example. He doesn't know what he's talking about. I mean, let's be honest here. If you're thinking we need to take shots during the preseason, I'm dang glad this guy isn't our GM because that's just terrible. No, you do that occasionally, and does he not remember? At least it's not like we didn't do like a play that wasn't past a 5-yard line or something. We had the 30-yard bomb to McKinley. We had the 20-yard pass to Tyrell. It's just we weren't, opening up our offense during the preseason on a game that doesn't matter. So we did the most standard offense ever. I mean, you think anybody like a guy who wants to be a GM would probably know that, but
listen, he was like, Brad Holmes should be down there talking. If I was Brad Holmes, I would be down there talking. This guy right here is more of a character than a coach. Blah, 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 blah. And I walked away thinking to myself, like, so what did you want them to do in the first preseason game? A game that's a scrimmage. Doesn't count. It's a scrimmage. A paid scrimmage by us, the fan. What did you want to see them do? What would have made you proud of them? What was the same energy yet for Minnesota? Right? Like, I didn't see that same energy for Minnesota. Where's that same energy at for the Packers? Oh, wait, they didn't play their starters, is what you're going to argue. Okay, well, let's go through the teams who did. Where's that same energy at for Miami with Tua? Right? Like, why are we doing this? Why are you angry with Dan Campbell? Like, there's no reason for you to have any real anger towards Dan Campbell. He's coaching the game. Like, I don't get it. Like, he doesn't have anything good to say about Dan Campbell at the one preseason game. That's his evaluation. It's ridiculous to me. Dan Campbell did exactly what he's supposed to.
Where's his praise? Did Campbell not find this random running back first name Craig Reynolds last? Like, he did. I saw a lot more positives than negatives, in my opinion, in the preseason game. I saw players improve. I saw players that had a negative maybe would do better. I saw players that, such as rookies, do better than I expected. I did not see anything. A great game for Barnes until he literally just came in and proved me wrong. I thought he was too raw, and he came in and almost legitimately ended a drive by himself. This was such a good preseason game. Where's the positivity with this fan base, man? I don't get it.
Listen, it's a lot of media who's looking for stories to talk about, and the easiest story to talk about is to be negative. It's the easiest one you can do. It's easy to be negative, and it's easy to be negative with this Lions team. But the ridiculousness of it all is the fact that not many of the people who was trying to act as if though they had something to say, like it mattered. But Michael Lombardi needed to shut the hell up. Okay? And I agree with Shays. Imagine being down bad enough to be salty about not getting a Lions GM job. That's how mad you is, cuz. Like, you so upset that you didn't get the shot, that you just, I wouldn't have hired this guy. Well, that lets me know you probably want the right person any damn way. I want somebody who's willing to understand and take chances. I like what Campbell has done thus far with the coaching staff. And I like what I saw in this preseason game. I wasn't looking for us to get a win. I didn't even pick us to win the game. On the little pickup thing that I saw, but I gave the score like 28-24 Lions, right? When I made my final prediction, I said, 28-24 Lions. I figured it'd be kind of a high scoring game, and clearly both teams was knocking off Russ, but I also didn't expect to see us sustain long drives. I didn't expect that. I didn't expect for us to stay with the hot hand and run the ball. Didn't expect that. Like, I didn't expect for us to see 4 people rushing consistently. It felt good not to see Trey Flowers as a quarterback spy guy. So, I don't know what they were looking for. I don't know what they wanted. I don't know what they were thinking, but it is what it is. Is Victor Barton cut yet? Not yet. I told people that hype train was unnecessary. He's 5'8". He's just not going to make it. This is for both. What's your take on what the front 7 and who will start? I think the offensive line was the offensive line. I think that for the most part, they did their job. I think they did their job. I thought the starting 5 you saw out there were left tackle Decker, left guard Jackson, center Frank Ragnow, who got a penalty. Shocking. Which I'm not even sure that was a legitimate penalty, but it is what it is. Then you have Big V, who played right guard, and Sue, who played right tackle. I thought that's your starting front 5 right there. In terms of our defensive side of the ball, they came out with McNeil. McNeil, I think he had I got to go find the snap count, but I think he had like 3 snaps and they took him out. I don't think that what you saw out there was our starting D-line, because there was no Michael Brockers, no Trey Flowers, there was no Anzarike. There was Pennicini, and
Pennicini didn't play. He was injured.
No, well, the other guy did. What's the bigger dude?
Ellie McNeil.
No, not that one. The one they put in after him. I'm trying to think of his name.
Kevin Strong, Bruce Hector.
No, Strong played DN. I'm talking about to play nose tackle. Got Hector. Jesus,
Hector.
Lord Jesus. Hector. None of those guys are starters on that front D line. Like, they're not starters. They're just not. I don't think we had our starting D line out there. Linebacker wise, is Ellis Anzalone probably the starter right now? He is. I think that's going to change at the game too with Derek Barnes. I guarantee that. Is Collins our starting linebacker? Yes, he is. Julian, of course, he's starting linebacker. No, he's not the starter. So overall, I was okay with it. And I think for what we saw, I think that's who it is. What do you think? Who do you think will start in terms of our? Cause I got McNeil at the nose tackle, Brockers at the DN, and I honestly think that Levi Onwuzurike going to be the other DN.
So here's my thing with the front seven. So I think, of course, we both agree Lee McNeil will be our nose tackle. I think for the other end or 5-tech spot will be, of course, Michael Brockers. But here's where I disagree. Due to the fact that Levi Onwuzurike, I think, was super raw. I did a little film video on him. He had a couple moves where I didn't think was exactly there, and he didn't. I don't think he was here for training camp, and he wasn't there for preseason game week 1. I think the other end spot is either going to belong to Deshaun Hand when in some parallel universe is healthy, or it's going to be Nick Williams, due to the fact that Nick Williams is the veteran. You can't put in a guy who's raw and not ready to go out and expect him to do well, especially a guy who's also just coming off injury. And then for the outside linebacker spots, of course, it's got to be obvious. It's going to be Trey, and it's going to be Romeo, and then we're going to have Julian Okwara going to the other outside linebacker spots. For the inside linebackers, of course, you have Jamie Collins. But I do think an underrated player, I could unseat Alex Anazero, who I think is our worst linebacker right now, is Sean Dion Hamilton, or it's just going to be Derek Barnes, like you said. You got put in players who actually do well at the inside thing. The coaches definitely just are all about winning, and I don't know. And so that's my thing with front seven. O-line, I think it's 100%. They're going to have to. The only spot that's even that question mark is right guard, but they literally paid so much money to that right guard that they cannot play him. So that's my take front seven.
I mean, you got to let them play. It is what it is. This one right here comes from. I won't say that first part. Although I'm like, what's with that? You got to display that name, man. Luke and Den, would it be wise to get a cheap free agent wide receiver in or safety this close to regular season? I'll let you go first, Dan. What do you think? You think we should get a free agent receiver or a safety?
No, because I don't think our receiver core is as bad as people make it out to be. I'm sorry. I actually like our receiver core a lot. I like Tyra Williams. I really am a big fan of Quin Steele. I really like Amon-Ra St. Brown. So that's 3 good receivers, and I think we got a good, solid deep threat in Rashad Perriman. And now we got some other younger guys who might bring in some promise. Geronimo Allison, he's been solid before. Go to his 2018 or 2019 season. He was on pace for a really good season, so he's been solid before, and he has potential as a returner. And then you have Chad Hansen, who's literally had a 100-yard game against the Indianapolis Colts. So we got promising receivers. I can get safety, but Will Harris and Dean Marlowe really impressed me that day. I didn't see Will Harris get beat at all. I saw Dean Marlowe
right?
Yeah.
Dude, listen, I literally walked away. It's so crazy. When I went to that practice, I was like, oh, that Will Harris looks different. Right? And then he gets in the game, and I'm like, he had that one penalty, but you're right. It wasn't like how you usually see where he's constantly out of position or like he's just standing there waiting for something to happen. He was constantly moving, and I was impressed with him as well as with Dean Marlowe. So yeah, I second what you're saying in that regard.
Mm-hmm. And also Dean Marlowe, literally, this is an actual stat. He allowed 1 catch for 2 yards. That's a solid game. They impressed me. Let's keep going with these young guys and developing them. I mean,
yeah, you're hitting on points that I don't think many people thought about. Like for me, I look at it like this: when you look at the idea of adding a receiver, if the receiver cannot unseat someone, I'm not adding him. It's just that simple. Mm-hmm. You need to be able to come in here and unseat somebody. So if you can't unseat Tyrell Williams, you can't unseat Rashad Perriman, you can't unseat Quintez Cephas or Amon-Ra St. Brown or Khalif Raymond, Why am I adding you to the roster? Now, in terms of the safety, yes, I do want another safety because I was not impressed too much with CJ Moore, but damn it, that's all we got to work with. I would prefer us to get another safety that can come in and relief or at least be a good third safety. But who's telling? They may use Iffy in that role. Don't know. But the receiver, I'm pretty much done unless somebody coming in and taking somebody's spot. So,
or if like some kind of big free agent comes somehow available magically. But like, I don't know. I just legitimately kind of like our team as receivers. If anything, I think the only spot that I really am concerned about is the linebacker spot because of N0 and due to the fact I think Barnes is a bit raw. But like, legitimately, Jamarlo Allison, he might be our worst receiver after receiver 4. But like his 2018 season wasn't bad. He had 20 receptions for 30 out of 30 targets, 303 yards, 15.1 yards per catch, and 2 receiving touchdowns. He was on pace for like a 700-yard season with like 5 touchdowns. That's a good year. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's anything special or important or amazing. That's a solid number 5, is it not? A guy who's literally been good before?
Well, listen, I just make my numbers up, when I made that chart, I guess.
I remember that. I'm sorry that happened, man.
Dude, really. Craig Bevan says Aleem McNeil is the next Jerry Ball. Wait till you see my video on him. Because I think that's exactly who I compared him to. Both guys come from small schools. Both guys, had a particular skill set, and both guys will get it done. The thing with McNeil is this. I just wonder, has the hype train gotten too big for him? Because fans are going to want to see it on the stat sheet. And what he does not go on the stat sheet. There are things that Sue do that wasn't able to be put on the stat sheet. And I don't think people get it. So I get it. Weezy D313 said he came here to hear that positive word at the end. I got a good one for you, so stay tuned. Don't go nowhere. Let's see. Burns is going to start. I've always had Burns starting. I think if he keeps up that kind of play, I don't see how you can start Alex Anzalone. I just don't. Even on the blitz, he was spot on right there. It didn't on the quick screen. He was snuffing out stuff, and I'm like, that is what you want out of a player. And he was doing it with a smile on his face. I think he's going to be somebody that they don't understand. It says, I'm a producer. It is my producer tag. I probably changed the YouTube name, though. You're right about that. Yeah, I don't want to be talking about some Adrian. I don't want to be saying that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I get what you're saying. So many blessings to your success as a producer and stuff. So shout out to you for that. I was following Analytics Unit. He said that Ellison was solid before. Yeah, I mean, I put him on my list as a player I think that can make it because he can be a kick and punt returner. I was basically told to take him off and that the numbers I gave for him was false. So I was like, all right, cool. I ain't going to argue with people. I can't teach everybody. Did Ford play? Ford. Oh, Mike Ford. Yeah. Ford, yeah, he played. Yeah, he played. Nothing to write home about.
I don't think he did anything special, but I don't think he was terrible either. But.
Yeah. I didn't see anything like that neither. He said I would have owned it. Then it said it's just pronounced like it reads. And wait for Luke to give it a shot again. Listen, I wasn't even. Listen, I had to think about. I'm like, what? F Adrian? Like, I'm not saying that. Let's see. Joseph Murdoch, Southwest Lions Burns, not going to start, not yet. Brockers, McNeil, Flowers, or Core Brothers, Collins, Hands is my pick at the starting D line. I don't know. Let me see. He is a Jerry Ball clone. I agree. That's the first person that I did, and I really compared piece by piece as I'm making this video. I just wish that they stopped putting me for overtime. It'd be great. Barnes.
They even got similar size.
You said who?
They got similar size. Only McNeil is 6'3". 6'1", 320, and Jerry Ball 6'1", 330. So great comparison.
And small school guys, basically. And if you go through and you look at, I think Jerry Ball was took in 4th or 5th round. I'm drawing a blank right now. 5th? Was it 5th round?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm trying to remember what it was. I can't remember when he was drafted, but I know it wasn't high. When was Jerry Ball drafted? You got it?
I am looking right now. It says he was drafted in the 3rd round, picked 63. 3rd round.
Shocking. So, where was McNeil drafted?
Round 3, actually.
It's shocking. All right. Did Brian play or Hand at all? Brian played. I don't think Hand played. Let me see. Hand probably did play, but I can't remember. I don't remember seeing Hand too much.
Brian played, Hand could not because
Hand did not play.
Hand or something. Hand injured his hand.
Hand injured his hand. Boy, I tell you. Let's see. Luke, was Barnes your favorite pick? Yes, him and Amon-Ra St. Brown. I've never been like, I'm gonna be honest with you. I had Slater rated a little bit higher than Sue. I did. That's just my evaluation, right? But I was not more excited for any one pick more so than Derek Barnes and Amon-Ra St. Brown, because what Amon-Ra St. Brown does, if you paid attention, even though 2 of them got called back with penalties, he knows how to find openings in the defense, and he knows how to catch in traffic, and he knows how to create separation. And so I got excited with Barnes. What excited me about Barnes is the fact that I'm like, here's a guy that went from DN to outside linebacker to inside linebacker, from inside linebacker back to outside linebacker, from outside linebacker back to inside, from inside to the DN, and was performing. How? You don't usually get that kind of stuff. I mean, he was bodying big offensive tackles, and then when you blitz him, it was literally like, I'm here, hear me roar, literally. So they were my favorite, 2 of my favorite picks. I'm telling you, it says I've been calling him Ball 2.0. That's exactly what I got. That's my observation for him. Levi reminds me of Grady Jarrett. I got a different comparison for Levi. I think he's more of like Calais Campbell. They obviously don't have the same measurements per se, but in terms of versatility and the get off, they're the same people. Y'all are killing it tonight. Appreciate it, Joseph. Ball was a running back in high school too. What? You got to be kidding me. Wait, Jerry Ball played running back in high school? And didn't McNeil play running back? Man, look at the comparisons there. Just the little small details that we don't see too often. That's nuts. Okay, don't know that. Luke seeing the stars align and shit. Yeah, hey, listen. I don't go by nothing but film. It's hard for me to trust the stats, but the stats are just support what the film show. Brian made a tackle. He did a very good one.
Let's go. Brian made a tackle.
Am I the one that wasn't impressed with Fields' debut? Nope. You are not the only one who was not impressed with his debut. In fact, I think that his little soundbite gonna come back to bite him, where he said the game seemed slow to him. Oh, that's gonna come back to bite you. To me, of all the rookie quarterbacks who played, I was most impressed with Zach Wilson. Every pass looked spot on, and he didn't look rattled, and he didn't do his
down for a fumble. Every time that's going to be a fumble. Then he had an underthrow. His one passing touchdown was an underthrow to Jesse James, and then he had an overthrow, which should have been picked off, and then he nearly got picked off on the D-line deflection. How is that a good game? How?
Listen. People are going crazy because they wanted him here in Detroit. They did the same thing with Ed Oliver, and now you don't hear nothing about Ed Oliver. They did the same thing with Tua. Now you don't hear anything about Tua, and I still would take Tua here. Believe it or not, Tua's biggest mistake was his family talking and saying that they didn't want him here. But I can tell you this much: I still would take Tua here. I just don't think Tua. I think Tua needs to sit and learn. And I think there's a lot of things going on where he's just not seeing the field the same, because when he came from Alabama, he was used to sitting comfortable, turn around, hand the ball off, throw the ball, you sit there. So I think it's a lot of things different over there. And now his coach is yelling at him because I guess he threw some type of pick or something, or got some kind of turnover, and he didn't go and try to make a tackle. He like, I want to see you make a tackle. I'm like, okay. So just saying.
Well, and like my other thing is Justin Fields had like 20 throws compared to these other rookie QBs. Like he had the most. The closest player that had his amount was Mac Jones at 19, and then the other was Trey Lance at 14. The rest of the other big QBs, T-Law and Wilson had 9, and so did T-Law. None of these other quarterbacks that you could say competed with him had his attempts or his amount of playing time. So of course he had the best base stats. It's just
Yeah, like I said, Lions King says Jelani Tavai lost weight but still looked kind of slow to me. I thought he looked faster. And I think it's because he didn't have to guess as much. I think the problem was that sometimes when he made his decision, it was the wrong decision, and you live with that. But he looked faster to me. But I can't kill you for that observation. So, hey. Kedrick says Jamar Jefferson don't have the vision. I don't know if he didn't have the vision, per se, or did they have moments where they call certain plays that didn't best suit his ability to run it. Like, he's not as shifty as Swift or he's not as Swift or Dedrick Mills, in my opinion. But I can tell you this much: there was this one time where he made a nice little jump cut and got up there, but it still won a lot of yards because they corralled around him really quick. So it is what it is. It says I wasn't impressed with Fields. Love was really garbage.
I didn't see Jordan Love. How did he play? I didn't watch that game.
Yeah, see, I was trying to watch a lot of it. Wait, did PJ Johnson play, and how dominant was he? Did PJ Johnson play? Let me think about this. I'm trying to think. Did I remember seeing him?
He didn't have a stat line, but I don't remember seeing him on like the highlights.
I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember seeing him.
Yeah,
I don't remember seeing him at all. So I mean, he probably did, but I don't remember seeing him. Marvin Jones looked really good. Yeah. I mean, he's going to be probably the best target for Trevor Lawrence. Yeah. Fields just activated the OSU quarterback curse. Yeah, once he said that the game was slow, we're going to look at that different. Luke, who does Burns remind you of? Early up the back, Michael Parsons. In terms of players overall, who he reminds me of, Derek Brooks. That's what he reminds me of. A guy that can get sideline to sideline quickly, swiftly, and fast. You just got to add pieces onto that the coverage game. I think you'll be just fine.
I always think he was like more like a poor man's Devin White because they actually had like really similar size. I think like their the only difference they really have is 40 time, but it's not even that big of a difference.
Buffed Up says stop hating. Fields did good. Not sure what he did good.
That's a fantastic argument. Stop, you're wrong. What a great argument, man.
You say that whole argument killed everything. That's a great one. He said, "Stop, you're wrong." Yeah, great argument. How about the block Tebow tried? I don't know why they tried it. That's the problem. I don't know what they were thinking of with that one. I'm like, Tebow, stop, bro. I thought Lawrence looked good. Lawrence looked better than Fields. I thought Wilson looked really good. I thought Lawrence looked good. I thought David Mills looked good for what he had to work with. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, I'm not killing too many people, but man, now I'm gonna have to use that one. Oh, great argument. Stop it. You're wrong. Mac Jones looked good too. Cam Newton knows he lost his starting job. Cam Newton, what? Man, Cam Newton, what?
Cam wasn't great, but I don't know if just based off Mac's performance alone, he lost his job. But maybe
right.
I mean, Cam did have the fumble and didn't really do anything else after that. But like, it's not like Mac was like killing it out 3 touchdowns in a row. He only had a field goal drive himself. So I liked Mac's game though. But
it says this one from Looney Tunes says, Luke, you're gonna have to go more in depth about you not minding Tua coming here. Meaning that if for some strange odd reason they cut him and the Lions picked him up, I'm not gonna kill the Lions for taking a flyer on Tua. I'm not, because what Tua does is this. He gives you a chance to get a quarterback who many of y'all like to care where they get drafted at, even though I don't. So I'm just going to use y'all logic on this. You get a quarterback who took it in the first round that you're going to say, oh, he didn't work out over here. I picked him up for nothing. I'm going to let him sit and learn. And now you can sit and learn behind him. He buys more time for you to do other things. So let's say, for example, if they decide to be ballsy enough to cut to it, which they won't, they'll try to trade him. But if they were ballsy enough to cut him, yeah, and the Lions picked him up, I'd be like, bet, because now I can use my first round picks on something other than quarterback going into next year. If I wanted to upgrade the safety position, and I could take the best safety. If I wanted to upgrade the receiver position, I could take the best receiver. I would have more options because I would have my future quarterback in waiting, sitting fast. And here's the benefit of it. Tua is left-handed, right? And so you would need somebody to protect his blind side. Well, you already got that covered with Sewell on the right. So we already covered that. His blind side is taken care of. And if you were to say, well, Tua can't do this and Tua can't do that, and is Tua better than Tim Boyles? If the answer is yes, then there's no reason to take him. Now, if you tell me we got to trade for him, I'm not in the business of trading for him unless the price is right. Would I give up a 5th round pick for Tua? Hell yes. Would I give up a fourth round pick for Tua? Yes, I would give up a 5th round pick in a heartbeat for Tua. A 5th round pick? 5th.
I don't know, man. If my boy Blau can perform in the same performance as Tua, then that concerns me.
I mean, listen, fair enough, but understand, I'm giving him a 5th round pick to have a quarterback stay under contract and sit and learn.
That's true, and he's had potential.
Yes.
I mean, I liked him coming in college. I was kind of surprised he's been as bad as he has been.
It's different when you ain't got all the stuff around you.
That's true.
Tebow makes the 53-man roster. Jags head coach needs to be fired. You better leave Urban Meyer alone. Lions fans wanted him.
They're gonna keep Tim Tebow because he sells jerseys. The more you keep him, that's why they're gonna keep him.
Where do you see the division being in order of record? You mean the whole division or individual teams? If you ask me who I think is going to win the division, I got the Vikings winning the division. I think they get most of their defensive players back, and I think they got the receivers to go along with them, and they still got Cook. So I think they win the division. I think number 2 is the Packers until they get unseated. I'm going to give them their just due. And then number 3, I got the Lions, and then the Bears last. I think the Bears are going to quit on Matt Nagy. What do you think, Dan?
So I'm not really high on the Vikings at all. I mean, yeah, if they didn't have Dalvin Cook, I'd be like, yeah, they're going to be 3rd and we're going to be number 2. But I'm more of a number 1 is going to be the Packers because Rodgers is just going to be like, all right, I want to be out of Green Bay so bad that I'm going to play fantastically well so that way they can trade me away or they'll just let me go and I can still get my pay. And then, boom, that's just going to be them. And also, just I can't not give the Packers a top division until they are dethroned. I think they've been the top guys for like as long as I can remember. And the Vikings, I'm only going to give them the number 2 spot because their team is more proven than ours. Why I consider myself a pretty positive person, I can't give us anything until I've seen provability from our staff. So I think they're number 2. So that's why I put us at 3.
Facts. Yeah. I mean, I'm not listen. People acting like I'm going nuts when I say we get 9 wins, and we're going to. I'm like, but it's 9 wins. I think we finished 3rd in the division. If we finish higher, great. But I think so. Shout out to my man Arthur Williams. He says, "What up, chat? Get them likes up." He always shows support, and I appreciate it. So 100%. And appreciate your support and you coming through. That dude said, "Oh, a good argument." Do you think Jelani Tavai gets cut? Not in the first waves. I think the first wave he survived. I would be shocked if they cut him just now. Could he get cut before in the final wave? It's possible, but I got to see what he do in game 2. So it's an evaluation. What about Lance? Lance was Lance. I thought there was some good and some bad. His coach agreed that there was some good and some bad, but he's not ready.
He was raw. It was exactly what everyone was saying. He needs to sit for a year.
Yeah, there's no way. There's no way you should put him out there. You would do him a disservice to start him. You can ruin him real fast.
I think it'd be like Josh Allen's rookie year. You know, everyone dogged on Josh Allen because he had I think 10 touchdowns, 12 picks because he wasn't ready. And then people were like, oh, trade him away, cut him, terrible pick. They should have kept Tyrod. I hope they don't do that for Lance, for his sake. But
let's see. It says, like Josh Rosen. Well, Rosen to me is different than Tua for 2 reasons. Rosen, biggest complaint was they said that he didn't care about football because he came from a rich family. And I don't know how true that is or where it came from. But Tua, on the other hand, to me, he provides something different. Like he has a mobility to him, whereas Rosen's mobility is like, okay. Tua to me has something to prove. But again, if we're carrying 3 quarterbacks and my 3 quarterbacks is Goff, Blau, and Tua, I'm happy. Tim Boyle, I pray to God that he gets more poised. That's what I'm looking for.
I'm hoping it was just like a fluke for him. I really am.
I am too. I really am. I'm better than 10 boys. Come on now. That's really a low bar. I think
Fair
golf
enough.
will play well enough to halt the draft quarterback talks. I do too.
Same.
It's all fun till Tebow time. Tebow ain't doing nothing. Tavon
He's
Austin.
got God on his side. He's gonna win.
Tavon Austin literally stole Tebow catch. He did.
Dude, it was so sad.
He did steal that, but like, oh god, that was it for. I bet you Tebow was like, come on, man, that was for me.
Yeah. Although
on.
I gotta admire Tebow's humbleness for not like standing there and being like, "Yo, what?" And instead just going for the block, because I was totally throw to Tebow.
Hey,
So
I'm just saying it was so funny to see it because it was like, damn, this is like rough. But again, it's preseason, so I'm not holding on. But I don't know how he make it past the first cuts. I would be shocked.
I like that comment. I like that.
I don't look. And people forget Dan Campbell himself won 5 games in Miami without his own coaching staff either. Ooh. Yeah, that one right there gonna sting for those haters. Like what? You know, Rodgers is like the alley shit. I gotta control myself. All right, let me keep going. I'm trying to get as many questions in before we get out of here. Matthew Stafford Berta says, based on chat results, everyone seems to agree that Bears will be the worst. Yes, I don't believe that they're going to be. I don't think they're going to be good. It just is what it is. Analytics, no, I'm going to get him back. I'm sorry, it was a perfect time burn. With good argument. Yeah, that's it. It's already over. Like it's a perfect time burn. Sometimes we gotta hold them L's, and that was one of those moments where you just came in with that blanket statement, and he shot it down with the best blanket statement he can give. It's funny as hell. It says, "Yep, I drank the Kool-Aid. I think I am too." Mobility is overrated. I agree. Mobility is overrated, but keep this in mind: if you are in a position to have a mobile quarterback or somebody who can run, it does change the way defenses play you. Like it just do. Let me see. Make sure I ain't forgetting nobody. Weren't they saying the same thing about Wilson? But I'm high on Wilson.
Wilson played great. I thought
he played good.
He had like one bad throw, and that was it. To be fair, we only saw 9 passes, but
I think mobility is misunderstood by fans. I can see that. Football was not a priority for Rosen. Like I said, I heard that and I was like, damn, that sucks then if that's the case. But hey, the Discord going to be lit tonight. Oh, bro, it's going to be all kind of problems.
Dude, I hope so.
I'll be at work in between like jobs and like be looking like, what the hell? It'd be some great debates going on and all kind of conversations, and it'd be funny as hell. Let me see. Our dress rehearsal will Swift play? I don't need him to.
I like that Spanish S. Sweet. I don't know how do you pronounce it?
I don't even know how you put that on there. But I don't need him to. I don't need him to play. Do I want to see him in real time? Sure, but if I can let him sit and rest, I'm good. I'm perfectly fine.
Please no Jahavid Best 2.0, please.
That's what I don't. That's why I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it now one bit. Hey y'all, what's going on, James Willis? It says, what did you take away from Fields' debut?
Overrated.
My day, I didn't get that far, but here's what I took away from it. I took away from it the fact that, if given the right coaching, the right situation, he can be a threat. But the biggest thing I took away from that whole entire debut was they still did not understand that it might have been better served to run the damn ball. And that's going to be the downfall. So if he's there and they don't run the ball, he's coming the game to slow to him. He's going to learn today that was a mistake. Mm-hmm. PJ Walker is going to start over Darnold. I don't think that's going to happen. Thanks, Dan.
No
Thanks,
way.
Luke. Great show. 100%, sir. Save Swift and Hockenson. Yeah, I don't see a reason to play them. Like, we know what you're getting out of them. I've seen them in practice. I know what I'm going to like. No, I don't need to see them. I need to see everybody but them. There are certain people I don't need to see. Let them heal up. Let them rest up. Let somebody go and rub their feet. I don't give a crap. Let them chill. Analytics versus EA. Bro, it'd be funny. I enjoy those conversations. All right, man. Listen, let's go into our final thoughts, man. I got to get up. Hopefully they don't hold me over tomorrow. Jesus, I hate this. They be holding me over like crazy. Let's go to our final thoughts, man. What's your final thoughts, Dan, for the people, man? Because I want to thank you for joining me and reaching out to come on. Hey, if you're free tomorrow, we can do this again. So, hey, hopefully I can start earlier. Hopefully. But, yeah, I mean, what's your final thoughts for the people? Dan, what happened? Dan. What happened to Dan? Oh, man, come on, coach. I lost Dan. Can y'all still hear me out there? If y'all can hear me, let me know.
Kicked me out at like the worst time.
Oh, now he's back. Okay, Dan is back. I'm like, what the hell happened? Dan, what are your
kicked me out
final
like
thoughts,
5
man?
seconds. Yeah, okay, so my final thoughts is, first off, thanks for letting me come on again, man. Absolute blast. It was a lot of fun. Like I said, big help to the channel. Quite the inspiration as always, and I'm also just super excited for the future of the Lions, man. I just positivity is the best way to go, so I just try to stay positive for this future. So, and don't be scared because there's promise.
100%. I'll answer this question for one prior 40. Does Reynolds make the 53-man roster if he do that 2 more games? Yes, because at that point they would. I think he needs. I think he needs to do it 2 more, and I'll tell you why. He still needs to, because you got to think. You already know who your 1 and 2 is. You know who that is. Your 3 is probably going to be Jamar Jefferson. But if you're going to unseat Jamar Jefferson, I think Dedrick Willis did well too. So you need 3 more outings like that, and they'll keep you. 1 more? I think he needs 2 more. Just 2 more. What up, though, Go Lions? We finna head out. I do apologize. Here's my final thoughts, people. First of all, I want to thank everybody who came in here, everybody who hit that like button. Appreciate you. Everybody who comment, appreciate you. Y'all rock. That's what makes this channel special, is we all interact with each other and we having conversation as football. So that's the benefit of it. Today's positive quote comes from the internet, because I can't end the show unless I end it on a positive note. This says, life is like a camera. Focus on what's important. Capture the good times, develop from the negatives, and if things don't work, take another shot. Damn it, that is so true. Because when you think about how life moves, you often find yourself in a position focusing on things that you don't need to. And so now, when you put your focus on things that require your focus, that is entitled to your focus, you find that your road to your success and your happiness is much clearer. But see, when you capture those good times, and you will, because there's no way possible for us to go every day and not capture a good moment, but we will. We capture good moments, we capture good people, we capture good content, we capture something that is relevant to us. When you capture those moments, make sure that you develop from the negative times, because those negative times are going to help you understand the good times. And there's always a need for those negative times. That's what builds you. That's what makes you special. That's what makes you different. That's what makes you unique. That's what made you you. And when you develop from those negative things and it don't work out, that's what gives you the opportunity to take another photo. If a picture is worth 1,000 words and your story reads 100% survivor, Lord help me, then that means that the photo that was taken has to be 100% true. The words that it speaks will speak volumes in ways that seems biblical. And if you can find some type of way to just grasp on that photo, to have it speak one singular moment of your life, capture that moment. Because once you freeze it in time, it will forever, ever be burned into the one ultimate camera, the hearts and brains of those who watch you. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, please make sure you hit that like, subscribe, notification bell. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me do this really quick. I generally leave it on a positive note, but I can't pass this up. Shout out to my man Go Lion, who says, damn, just got back from Hampton University. My daughter just moved on campus. Shout out to the younger version, probably the most experienced and better half of Go Lions himself, his daughter, for going off to college to Hampton, which is a very good college and university. So congratulations to her. He says, I will replay the live. Please do so. But shout out and congratulations to her getting to college. I hope that she picked something that that makes her happy and fulfilled. Support her, man, and anything that you can possibly do. And just let her know that when times get hard, she can always call on daddy. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let me get up out of here. I got to get up in the morning. And as always, don't be no chump. Please do your research. I am out.